Hello, welcome to Movies in Short channel. Today, I'm going to talk about an action and thriller movie called The Ledge. So, if you want movie summaries, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. As the movie starts, we see many beautiful shots of climbers on the Dolomite mountain ranges. Then we meet two girls who are getting ready to climb the mountain the next day. Kelly and Sophie are friends who are on vacation. They want to climb the 10 feet high sheer side of the mountain. Kelly takes off her locket, and we see her thinking about the time she and her late boyfriend climbed a mountain. She puts the locket back in the bag just as four loud men in a Jeep pull up outside and start making a lot of noise, drawing the girls' attention. Josh, one of the guys, sees Sophie, and he and Sophie seem to like each other. After a while, the man comes back and knocks on their door. He says his name and tries a corny line to get Sophie's attention. Josh also invites them to a party where they can drink and do other things. When Kelly says no, Sophie says no, too. Then we move on to Josh's friends. Zach says that the locals told them that they are the only ones who are going to climb since it's already frozen up there. They also talk about how Josh shouldn't be dating other girls since he's already in a relationship. Then Josh walks up to them and starts making dirty jokes, which makes Taylor angry. Here, we can see that Josh doesn't seem like a good friend and is very aggressive. Sophie talks Kelly into going out with the guys for a drink and promises that they'll be back on time. Kelly finally agrees to come with them after being asked several times. As the sun goes down, we see the guys and girls sitting around a fire. Sophie is the one who talks a lot and makes fun of Josh and the others with ease, while Kelly sits quietly and drinks her drink. Sophie makes fun of Josh's big watch, and he tells her it's a Ritmo Mundo Quantum Elite with a personal locator beacon. He only has to push a button wherever he is in the world for a group of ninjas to show up. Sophie also tells the guys that she and Kelly want to climb the Antillau. When Taylor hears this, he says that he and his friends want to climb the same mountain. But when Sophie tells them they're going to climb sheer, everyone is shocked. Kelly gets up to go to bed after all this, but Josh grabs her arm and tries to keep her there. Kelly doesn't like that at all, so when the other guys say something, Josh lets go of her. Josh suggests that they all climb the face with the girls tomorrow after Kelly leaves. Sophie then laughs in his face and tells him that they won't have the guts to climb the face and would rather take the easy way to the top. When Kelly gets back to her cabin, she turns on a handheld camera and looks at a video she made of her boyfriend, Luca. They talk about how this will be his 5th time climbing the Antillau, but Kelly's first time doing it. We also see Kelly and Sophie in a rock climbing gym where she and Luca met for the first time. Before she goes to sleep, Kelly sheds a few tears. Sophie has had a lot to drink and is now kissing Josh outside. She gets up to go to the bathroom, and Josh's friends try to tell him to calm down by bringing up Amy, the woman he is going to marry. But Josh says he won't sleep with just one woman for the next 40 years and goes after Sophie. Sophie is about to go home when Josh comes up to her and tries to kiss her. Sophie tells him to stop, but he starts to push her away, showing how angry he is about being made fun of earlier. Sophie screams as Josh tries to force himself on her, and Josh's friends hear her. Sophie scratches Josh's face. Josh gets off of Sophie when one of them tackles him. She runs away as the guys go after her to talk to her and try to convince her not to press charges or something. But when the guys catch up to her and Josh pushes her over the edge, the chase becomes dangerous. Sophie falls down and hits her back on a rock. She is still alive, though. Kelly, on the other hand, wakes up because she hears noises outside. She goes to find Sophie, but the campfire is empty when she gets there. Now that Sophie is pleading, the guys gather around her and decide what to do. Ray is about to call 911, but Josh tells him that no one will believe it was an accident because Josh's face is scratched, Zach's hand has bite marks, and there will be skin under her fingernails. Josh tricks his friends into thinking that if they don't kill her, their lives will be over. He then gets a big rock and hits Sophie over the head with it. Josh then gives Zach the rock and tells him to hit the dead girl with it. He even grabs Ray's hands and covers them with Sophie's blood, making sure that both of them are just as guilty as the other. After that, Josh suggests that they clean her nails and throw her further down to make it look like she was high and trying to climb. Kelly had come into view of the guys while all of this was going on. She thought there was a threat, so she turned on the handheld. Kelly accidentally lets out a scream, which lets the guys know she is there. Josh sees that she is carrying a camera, so everyone runs after her. She runs away and hides in the woods while the guys go in different directions to find her. Kelly then gets to her cabin by running. On the way, she runs into Ray, but she doesn't stop her. She gets her climbing gear and heads for the face of Antillau, where she hopes to get away from the guys, who aren't as good at climbing as she is. The guys catch up to her as she starts to climb, and Taylor climbs up after her. He's not as fast as Kelly, but he catches up to her a few times. When he does, she hits him with her foot. In the end, he loses his balance, falls, and breaks his leg. His tibia is sticking out in a horrifying way, and he is wailing in pain. Josh is furious and yells at Kelly that he will get her. The guys take their hurt friend back to their cabin, where Josh gives him some painkillers instead of taking him to the hospital right away. He tells him to get help if they don't come back in 24 hours. Josh is totally focused on getting the camera back, which is proof that they are murderers. and he doesn't care if anyone gets hurt in the process. As the three guys get ready to climb after Kelly, Kelly opens her bag to see what equipment she has. There isn't much. Taylor tried to get to her, but her ropes had come down, and she wasn't wearing the right gear. Kelly won't give up, though, because this is the fight of her life. The guys find Kelly's phone on the ground below her. It fell out of her pocket when she started climbing. Josh keeps the phone and then runs to the cabin while telling his friend to keep getting ready. Ray and Zach start to talk, and Ray feels bad about everything they do. Zach then says that they have been friends since 3rd grade and that they did something bad to a bully who picked on Ray. He tells Ray to shut up and stick to the plan. Zach goes looking for Josh when he doesn't come back. He sees Josh running out the door and yells at him for not waiting. Then they go back to start climbing again, and as Kelly keeps climbing, they start to chase her. She stays calm and on track by using Luca's words as a push to keep going. She remembers that he told her that climbing is like chess and that she should use her mind instead of her muscles. So she does what he told her to do and pulls out a map to check her route before going on. Here, we learn that the men aren't too far behind because they have better supplies and gear. While this is going on, a snake crawls over Kelly's hand, which adds to her problems. She starts to sweat, but she stays still and doesn't move or freak out until the snake is gone. In fact, she isn't wearing gloves, and the climbing is starting to wear her out. She stops to drink some water, but her bottle falls down below. Josh sees this and makes fun of her by drinking water from the bottle he gave her. He keeps making fun of her by sending himself friend requests from her social media account and putting up fake statuses in her name using her phone. Kelly does her best to ignore the jerk and powders her hands so she can keep climbing. She then finds a rope that will help her jump to a higher handhold, but she can't reach it. Kelly pulls a wire out of her bag's lining and uses it to reach the rope. She remembers what Luca taught her about the move and does it well. Josh and his friends also take the easier path to climb higher and faster than Kelly, who is stuck on the steep side of the mountain to keep the men from getting to her. After that, Kelly finds an old tent and takes a break there. Josh and the others have climbed up to a ledge above her until then, blocking her way unless she wants to cross their path. Josh gives her a rope and tells her to tie the camera to it. Then, he says, they'll let her go without hurting her. Kelly isn't a fool, though. She instead ties a note to the rope, which makes Josh even more angry. Kelly has no choice but to spend the night in the tent she has found because she has nowhere else to go. She finds a few things in the tent, including something sharp, which she puts in her pocket in case she needs it later. Kelly then fixes it as best she can, and later that day she is able to get in it. Josh and the others are making it hard for her to get up, but at least she can take a break and eat something. At this point, we find out that she and her boyfriend went to the same spot a year ago to climb the mountain. Kelly doesn't know it, but her boyfriend is also making plans for something else. Kelly's boyfriend proposes to her as a surprise, but the happy moment is cut short when the guy loses his balance and falls. He doesn't make it through the fall, leaving Kelly very sad. Back in the present, Kelly is getting ready for bed, and Josh is filling a bag with rocks and throwing it down. Kelly is lucky that she manages to stay safe. Later that night, Zach gets Kelly out of bed by rappelling down to get her. He grabs her, and Kelly, who had found a knife earlier, uses it to stab him. This gets them both out of the tent, and they both hold onto the rope for dear life. Ray and Josh pull them up, but when Josh gets to Kelly and takes her necklace, she gets Zach's knife and cuts the rope. Kelly is very lucky because when she falls, she grabs the tent and lands on the side of the mountain. Since her tent fell off the edge, she has no choice but to spend the night in the cold. Kelly has been able to keep hold of her bag, which has the camera in it. However, Josh has her necklace with the ring on it and has figured out everything from having her phone. Now that Zach is hurt, he wants Josh to call for help, and Ray agrees. Josh agrees to make them happy and then leaves to make the call. That night, when all three of them are sleeping, Zach tells Ray that he thinks Josh is lying. Zach says Josh hadn't called anyone, and he tells Ray that when Josh went to the cabin to get his gloves earlier, he saw him come out of the cabin looking a little worried. Zach thinks that Josh killed Taylor while he was inside because he doesn't want Taylor to call for help. So, Zach and Ray plan to use Josh's watch to turn on the locator beacon, but they fail because Josh is awake. He threatens them once more, and everyone goes to sleep. Later, Zach, who hurt his leg, gets up to go to the bathroom, but Josh hits him in the head and pushes him off the edge of the cliff. Kelly sees this happen. Later, when Ray wakes up from his sleep, Josh tells him that he sent Zach to Taylor, which is not true. Then, Ray talks Josh into sending him to talk to Kelly about the camera and her life, which Josh does. When Ray meets Kelly, he gives her his food and apologizes for what he did to her friend. He tells Kelly to give him the camera, and he will lie to Josh and say that he pushed her off the mountain. But Kelly tells Ray that Zach was killed by Josh and that Josh saw Zach's body fall off the ledge. Kelly tells Ray that Josh will kill them both no matter what happens because Ray doesn't believe her. Then they do what they had planned, with Ray giving Josh the camera. Josh looks at the camera and finds that the memory card is missing. At the same time, Ray is trying to call Taylor's phone, but to his surprise, he hears it ringing in Josh's pocket. Since Josh was caught off guard, the two of them start fighting with each other. Josh kills Ray by lighting him on fire and then setting him on fire again. Kelly's turn has come now that all of his friends have died. Kelly looks around and sees that her knife is not too far away, so she moves carefully to get it. Once she gets the knife, she sees a snake, which gives her an idea of what to do next. Josh is getting ready to go down and attack Kelly himself. When he meets her, he asks where the memory card is. Kelly plays a trick on him by telling him the card is in a crack in her bag. Josh is told to stick his hand in, and as soon as he does, a snake bites his hand. He doesn't like Kelly's plan, so he starts to hurt her. Kelly tries her best to get away from him, and in the end, she wins. Josh has to grab onto a rock because of this, and he starts to lose strength. Kelly is able to get her necklace off of him, and she also presses the button on his watch to call for help right away. Kelly's turn to do the fatality move is now. Josh loses his grip on the rope and falls to his death. Kelly is glad her nightmare is over and that she still has her ring and all the proof in her hand. At the end, Kelly is still making her way to the top. She and Luca finish the climb they set out to do, and as the sun comes up, we hear a helicopter in the distance. This is the end of the movie.